Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of the Resistance Fallen Man Glitch Exhibition. This episode, we're going to be looking at Grimsby 3, or... yeah, I already called it episode 6. Grimsby 3, or Hunted Down. Most of this level... actually, before you even get there, this is the first level that has an insanely large out of bounds that's actually useful. So this is going to be another one where I have to essentially break it down into two parts. If I can remember what it is I'm trying to do. This is going to be a shorter video because there's not all that much out there. And then, interestingly, another part of this video is this actually is going to be mostly theory crafting. I was experimenting with 2 players because there's a lot of different 2-player things you can do. And I'm fairly confident that with 2 players, this wall here, you can actually take advantage of. I don't have any footage of it to show you now, but if you get a player to camp right here, you can jump on them and essentially clip into this. And unfortunately, at this point, all this will do is yield in clipping you through the ground, and you'll land on the lower floors of this tower, which will clip you back into Grimsby 2. And you can walk around down there, and it's interesting, but all in all, there's nothing you can do if you fall down. Potentially something here as well. I also experimented with this right here. This one also looks good. I'm actually stuck right now. I can't super jump. I can't jump. But I found out the reason that this is probably flawed, though I do invite you to try it, is because when you try this, there's actually a really big invisible wall here. And that invisible wall actually loops all the way around to like here, and then goes along the top of the fence. And as you'll see later, it functions kind of like a one-way wall. You can come through it one direction, but you can't pass through it from the other. So even with a super jump, I think you'd be out of luck trying to get through that, simply because you can't get literally through the wall. Which is really unfortunate. The first one I showed you actually has a lot more potential if you could find a reliable way to do it, and I will show you why when we get there. The other thing with 2 players I explored was these rocks here are actually really interesting. You can camp a player right here, and then have a player get up here and bounce on them, and you can actually get up on top of this. Unfortunately, there's a massive invisible wall, another one-way wall. You can't get through it this way out of bounds, but if you're out of bounds, you can pass through it inbounds. You can also clip underneath these rocks, which doesn't yield anything, but you could do that in single player. And then you can also put someone over on this side of the rocks, and you can utilize them to get up one more higher. But again, all invisible walls, a bunch of stuff that stops you from actually doing anything. And there's a gnome that you could shoot. Right. I think he's on that rock there. I'll show you a better close-up of him later. Okay. This area is kind of interesting. There's quite a few buildings and places where... Damn, that sucked. You have corners like this, and you can actually clip into these corners, like you'll see I'm doing, and what it's going to do is launch me. So I actually ended up on top of these. Usually you bounce your head on that. And it does it in 2 spots on this building, one there and then one on this corner too, I think. But unfortunately, you just hit your head and you can't do anything about it. Alright. So now we're gonna get to the out of bounds. Normally I would skip all these enemies, but I want to actually show you something in this room. So if you ever find yourself over here and you think, oh damn, I'm now stuck here and I can't go back. Actually, it's pretty easy to go back. All you have to do is hop on this railing and you literally can get right back in. And all it takes is this simple railing. I don't know why they thought they could block you off and then put a railing there at the same time, but I mean, it's a thing. And this is where the level splits into 2 places. So first, this is the actual way, but I'm not going to cover the actual way. I'm going to show you something really easy to do. This railing, hop on it, and now you need to be moving forward and get to this nub right here. So that gives you a height boost. And all you gotta do is run forward and jump when you have that little height gain. And you'll end up here. And we're now out of bounds. So you can explore this area. There's 3 major areas to this place. You can simply walk over here, hop down here, and explore the docks. The docks go way, way out that way. Like that all out there, you can walk on all of that out there. It doesn't turn not solid until quite a way back. So from here, you can just walk up this, and this gets you up top. So now you have the rooftops over here. You can hop over, and that allows you to walk on like all of these areas, around these. You can hop onto the docks over on this side. Pretty cool to explore, pretty useless overall. Before I go back inbounds, I want to show you, oops, did not mean to do that. Show you this last thing really quick. So these right here, if you move just a little out, right there, you spawn a ton of enemies. Don't know why these enemies are stored here. They don't have like any meaning or sense. And they just kind of sit here and stare at you and move with you. Now, if they're off screen, I think it is if you're not looking at them or you're walking away. Some certain things trigger them to shoot you, but for the most part, they're harmless. So you can just come and play around with some test dummies. So you can see more docks out there. All of that's walkable. There's one spot out there that the floor is fake and you need to watch out for. Otherwise, it's way out there where the floor is fake. And you'll immediately recognize that you can't hop there. If you're concerned, you can always shoot bullets. Your ammo will always collide with solid ground that you can walk on. So that's how you can tell what ground's real, what ground's not. So now here you might recognize back where I said before, all of the clips from the previous area still hold. From Grimsby 2 still hold. You can still, I think this is the wrong house, but you could still find the broken house. You could still clip into it. There's still the corner that does damage to you. There's just more houses now. Over here, this building, the hole that you can fall through over there is still there. The soft lock in the window is still there. It's literally the same level. Nothing has changed. This is the end of the level, right there. If I go right up against that, I'll actually trigger the level to end. But I don't want to do that. I want to show you the full level. You can walk around it and go into this area, and you'll immediately recognize Grimsby 2. But I'm going to leave that for the end of the video, because there's one more thing I want to show you in this Out of Bounds that will explain why I think there's a lot of two-player potential for this level. I should put not yakety sax, running in the 90s, just like speed this up 600 times as you watch me slowly walk over. So this was going to be a shorter video. It's been one of the longest so far. Pretty certain it's obvious I don't know how to record for YouTube. Alright. So this pipe, crouch, and you're now under it. Be careful about down there. You'll get stuck if you go all the way down there, and you can clip through the ground. It's not fun. Climb up this hill. There's a couple things you can do here. You can walk around. And now, this is what I was talking about. You see this right here? This is the other side of that fence I was talking about. But unfortunately, there's just this giant invisible wall. So if I try to get on this, it's just going to force me inbounds, and I'm not going to be able to get back through. You can walk along these. Now you can see the whole rooftop area, more docks, more pipes, but this isn't the cool pipe. This isn't the cool club. That is the final area of the level, and these enemies exist the whole time. So now they're going to be shooting at me. But you can walk over here, get on this pipe, get on this pipe. If you miss and fall into that area, you have to kill yourself, unfortunately. Now, you can get on top of this. You can go on top of this, on top of this. You can go a little bit out there, but you can't go any further. And that allows you to skip a very small section that's not really worth skipping, because the amount of time it takes to get here. You can walk around on these pipes. And now, let's see. The thing I want to show. So, if you successfully, using 2 players, get up here. This is the hill that I was talking about. If you get up on this hill right here, because we're back at the beginning of the level, what you can do is, there's 2 ways to do this, the slow way and the fast way. The slow way is to just slide down to that area, and then you can walk around to a pipe. But the quick way is to walk over here. You're on the other side of this fence now. Get here, and leap of faith. It's actually not that dangerous to do this, but if you miss, you do die. And now you're on this pipe. And now from this pipe, you'll notice, I just hop back down, and I actually skipped, this skipped about half the level, and now we're just going to finish the level out and skip even more. So this is pretty impressive. If someone can find a 2-player way to do that, I would greatly appreciate that. Well, I didn't mean to fall in here, but that's fine. Most of these roofs are solid, so... Oh, cool, I didn't take damage. And that's the gist of that out of bounds. So I'm just gonna run through this room, get to the final encounter.
Sergeant, be advised. The Chimera have set up a trap.
Right, just shy of doors, small area, fake wall. Glass fence, walk clip. I have 2 more notes here that say right just shy of door is a small area through a fake wall. And just last fence, walk, clip into it behind. But I think those were part of the other out of bounds, and I'm not sure what they're for. So, I'll probably revisit these with another video to touch up on what I missed. But if you're having trouble with this part of the level, and you're trying to get through it, you actually can just walk underneath these, and the enemies will more or less ignore you. Throw a grenade there to help clear them out. Walk straight across, and you can hop straight behind these 2 turrets.
Sergeant Hale, the transport is waiting. We can't stay much longer.
And that's the end of this level. You're now here at the end. 2 things of note. Like usual, you can get on this railing, and you can walk along this, but there's an invisible wall that kind of forces you here. So, unfortunately, invisible walls stop you from getting on top of that. You can, however, there's not a bunch of enemies here shooting at you, use this. You can get on top of this and the gun and hop right on up. So they didn't really do a good job of keeping you out of this area, because you can just, get on top of it. But there's this invisible wall here specifically. Don't know why. Anyway, this is the end of the level. I hope you all enjoyed. I apologize for the gap. There's probably going to be another one before I do Nottingham. I think Nottingham's next, right? No, Manchester's next. Before I do Manchester. But, yeah. That's been Grimsby 3. And I hope you all enjoyed. See y'all next time. Peace out.